Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm going to be installing the Pyle view rear view camera today. I'm going to put it on my van. I'm going to show you how to install this and help you do it in the future. So first, we'll just open up the box and see what's inside. It comes with some instructions, which are actually pretty vague. But they're not very complicated, so you'll be fine doing this. If we get into here, this is the actual camera itself, the monitor, I should say. And then you've got a bunch of cables that come with it. Alright, this is the actual camera in here. It mounts onto the license plate holder, so we'll put that on a little bit later. Some more wires. This is the main harness that we'll be hooking up. And if you're interested, they also have a remote control. So let's head out and put this on. Okay, so here's the main wiring harness. The green wire is the backup signal, so when you put your car in reverse, it'll tell the camera to come on. It has two inputs. This is for your video feeds. The red wire will connect to your battery, and it has an inline fuse, so it'll bring it down to the voltage that it actually needs in the system. And then you have black for your ground. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wire this in on the back side of the power outlet here. The bottom one is always on, so I'm actually going to be connecting directly to that just behind this cover. So I've removed the screws that hold it in place, and I'll be pulling it off and attaching it. Okay, I've removed the cover, and this bottom one right here is the bottom power outlet that we'll be connecting into. One thing to remember is always be safe. Since this is always on, you want to make sure that you've disconnected the battery before you start wiring things up. Otherwise you can have nasty side effects. So remember to be safe while you're working on electronics. Okay, I have this wired together. You can see here that the red goes to red and the black goes to black. Pretty straightforward here. I used wire nuts to help kind of splice or tie all these back together, and then I also used electrical tape to seal it up. These don't come with the backup camera, but they're extras that are really nice to go ahead and put on. That way you can make sure that when you're putting it back together, it doesn't short out or cause sparks or cause fire. So make sure that you put a little extra money into it and do the job right. You don't want to cause problems later on. A couple of the tools I've been using so far is my wire cutters. I have a utility knife that I've also been using, and then the wire tape, and I have a power screwdriver. You can use a regular one if you need to, and if you don't have wire cutters, you can use a utility knife to just lightly graze the edges of the wire casing to expose the wire more. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the viewer just to give it a test real quick, and then I'm going to head to the back and start installing the camera itself. So in the packaging, at least on my model, there's two cables that come together. It just looks like this. So let's go ahead and plug it in. Alright, we've plugged it in, and then just hit the power button. And you can see it comes on. There's no input hooked up to it currently, so it's not going to give you any sort of a feed. It's just going to say no signal. But that's alright. We'll get it connected soon. Alright, so I've opened up the back hatch of the van. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the existing conduit here for the wire. What it does is it comes into this part of the van. There can be some electrical up in the top section here. So we're going to use the same spot, run it through, and it's going to come up. We're going to take off the back panel in order to access the other side. I swing over to here, and the plan here is to drill a hole right through here. It's just the back license plate cover. We're going to put the hole through there, and then we're going to run the camera. I'm actually going to mount it on the bottom because it's a little too close to the actual handle here. I don't want to be running into the camera every time I go to open the back door. So that's the plan. Alright, so this is what my van looks like with the paneling all taken off. Here's the conduit. You've got your wiring harnesses that go around. And then more connectors through here. What we'll be doing is we'll be using this same line that we have right here that powers the lights for the license plate. We're just going to run our wire right through the same area. We'll also have to find a power supply, so we'll have to tap into a few of these lines to figure out which one has power. And if we come back over here to the conduit, you can see the inside. So this is where all the wiring comes back into. Okay, I've put the camera on, just like I said I was going to. I haven't fully bolted it on just yet because I don't really know if it's facing up or if it's upside down. So when I get it all plugged together, I'll find out which way it needs to go. If that's the case, then it's not too hard to undo the screws on here and turn it over. And then it goes around. I drilled my hole. I put the video and the power lines through, and I went ahead and put some sealant on there to lock it in place. If we come to the inside, you can see it. The wires have come through. So here's my video and here's my power. I've gone ahead and put the extension on there that we had in the package. So this wire is going to run up towards the front. It's not actually long enough to reach all the way to where I need it to, so I'm going to have to put another extension on there as well. The power line, I ran it over here. It's on my ground, but I couldn't find a good power supply, so I'm actually tying it into this red line here that I added. So it's extending back down into the vehicle. I'm going to find a better power supply within the van walls itself. But like I said earlier, I'm running it through here. It's going through this conduit here to keep it all sealed so that the rain doesn't get into it. So, and then we come into here. So next step is to keep on wiring things. When you drill the hole in the back, make sure it's big enough for an end like this to go through. I ended up using a 1/2 inch drill bit on it and then sealing it when I got done. Alright, I finished wiring everything up. I haven't fully placed all the wires where they need to go yet, but I wanted to make sure everything worked like it was supposed to. What you can see right here is actually the wiring harness that the backing light is hooked up to, and I've attached a wire to it because that's going to go forward to the wiring harness and connect to the green wire. I also have these wires here. Remember, the red wire is hooked up to the positive on the camera, and it's going to go to the front also, and it's going to stay on the constant on line. And then the video line, I also just kind of ran up to the vehicle right now to connect to the device. So we're going to come up here, and like I said, nothing's put away yet. But you can see all the wiring harness. It has all its connections now. Here's the backup line like I was saying just a moment ago. So it's connected now, just temporarily until I get it run. I just stuck this line in here for now. It's the camera. It's in the other cigarette lighter that only has power when the van's actually turned on. I'm probably going to tie it into the other one so it is constantly on. So if the van is off, then I can still run the camera if I want to. So really, it's up to you how you want to make it work. So now that everything's hooked up, I'm going to go ahead and turn the van on real quick. Alright, so the van's on. And as you can see, this is the review is currently turned off because it's not currently in reverse. Okay, so here I'm putting it into reverse. I And when I put it in reverse, it automatically turned on the screen. Right now the lift gate's open, so it's just pointing straight up into the sky. And then when I take it out of reverse, it automatically turns it off. If you wanted to just manually do it, you can. Just hit the power button, and that turns it on. You can see here is a V1 and a V2. That's for two different video feeds, so you could switch between the two. And then there's some manual controls that you can do to like adjust the brightness and contrast and that kind of thing. So this is the end of my video. I'm just going to wrap up by putting all the wires along the doorways and hiding them so nobody sees them or trips on them. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope this has been useful. Thanks.